This was supposed to be a normal wrestling show in LA, but it turned into absolute chaos. Out of nowhere, UFC legend Rampage Jackson's son Raja jumped in the ring and attacked Psycho Stu for real. The crowd thought it was part of the show until Stu collapsed, bleeding and unconscious. And trust me, what happened next will blow your mind. Why didn't anyone step in? How did this even happen? And could this be the most disturbing moment in wrestling history? But first, we need to let you know that we won't be showing every single clip here, since the content could get age restricted or even removed from YouTube. The full uncut footage is available through the link in the description for those who want to see exactly what happened. So, let's get into it. On August 23, 2025, fans packed into the Knock X Pro Wrestling show in Sun Valley, Los Angeles, expecting a fun night of entertainment. Independent wrestling events like these usually give the crowd a mix of drama, comedy, and over-the-top action. But this night turned into something nobody could have imagined. During the event, Stuart Smith, better known by his ring name Psycho Stu, was already in the ring wrestling another performer. Everything seemed like a regular match until chaos broke out. Out of nowhere, Raja Jackson, the son of UFC legend Quinton Rampage Jackson, jumped into the ring. Unlike a planned wrestling storyline, there was no announcement, no music, and no hint that this was supposed to happen. Fans were confused at first, but what followed quickly turned confusion into shock. Raja attacked Stu with full force, landing heavy punches and slams that were clearly not part of the show. The crowd's cheers instantly turned into gasps and screams. People in the front rows could see that Stu was in real trouble, and some even shouted at the officials to stop the fight. Within seconds, Stu collapsed and showed clear signs that he couldn't continue. The situation was chaotic inside the venue. Parents covered their kids' eyes. Wrestlers from backstage rushed toward the ring, and fans pulled out their phones to record. Several people captured angles that later went viral, making sure millions across social media witnessed what happened. For many fans in attendance, it didn't feel like a wrestling show anymore. It felt like they were watching a real street fight unfold right in front of them. If you're a wrestling fan, you already know that accidents, what fans call botches, are part of the game. Maybe a wrestler slips while jumping off the ropes. Maybe a move lands awkwardly and someone gets hurt. These things happen because wrestling is physical, even when it's planned. But what Raja Jackson did on August 23rd wasn't an accident at all, and that's what makes this case so disturbing. The biggest difference is intent. A botch is unplanned, usually embarrassing, and often painful, but nobody means for it to happen. Wrestlers trust each other to protect one another during matches. Raja broke that trust completely. His attack wasn't clumsy or accidental, it was targeted and aggressive. The kind of thing you'd expect in a real fight, not a wrestling storyline. Another reason this incident stands out is how it breaks wrestling's unspoken rule. Protect your opponent. Even though matches are designed to look brutal, the performer's #1 job is to keep each other safe. When something goes wrong, wrestlers usually stop and check if their partner is okay. In this case, there was no care, no hesitation, no check, just pure violence. Fans also pointed out that this incident felt more like an invasion than a performance gone wrong. Raja wasn't even booked for the match in the first place. That made it completely unpredictable, not just for Stu, but also for the opponent, the referee, and the audience. Nobody knew what was coming, and nobody had time to prepare for it. On top of that, wrestling botches don't usually make the general public angry. They're seen as slip-ups or funny moments, unless someone is badly injured. But Raja's actions went viral for all the wrong reasons. Even non-wrestling fans were disgusted, because they could immediately tell this wasn't a mistake. This wasn't someone missing a flip or landing wrong, it was an attack. One of the strangest and most controversial parts of this whole story is the referee's role. In wrestling, referees aren't just there to count to 3. They're also responsible for keeping matches safe. If someone gets seriously injured, it's the referee who signals for help and ends the match early. But on that night, the referee made a decision that shocked fans almost as much as the attack itself. Instead of waving the match off when Stu was clearly in trouble, the referee told Stu's opponent to continue and make the pin. Some people believe the referee was confused. Maybe he thought Raj's attack was part of the show and didn't realize how serious it was. Others think he panicked, unsure of what to do, and just went with the flow. But whatever the reason, his choice left a lot of fans furious. Many called it heartless and irresponsible because it looked like he cared more about finishing the performance than about someone's safety. Another angle people are discussing is how much pressure referees face in smaller promotions. Unlike WWE, where referees are highly trained and supported, independent shows often rely on part-timers who don't have the same experience. That means, in an emergency, they might not act the way they should. Still, that doesn't excuse what happened here, especially when a man's health was on the line. The internet has a way of turning shocking moments into viral sensations, and that's exactly what happened after the Raja Jackson incident. Within hours of the clips being posted online, TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, and X were filled with heated discussions. People weren't just talking about what they saw. They were furious, disgusted, and in some cases even traumatized. One of the first places the clip blew up was TikTok. Thousands of users shared short videos with captions like, "This is crossing the line," and "This is why wrestling needs better safety." Some fans even slowed down the video, breaking down the attack frame by frame, to show how brutal the blows really were. Others stitched reactions, with people literally crying or yelling into the camera about how disturbing it was. Reddit communities also went wild. On wrestling subreddits, long threads debated whether this was the darkest moment in modern independent wrestling. In MMA forums, people compared Raja's aggression to real cage fights, saying he treated Stu like an opponent inside the octagon, not like a fellow performer. Even outside sports, casual viewers were horrified. One Redditor wrote, "I don't even watch wrestling, but this is the scariest thing I've seen all year." X was where the anger became more organized. Wrestling journalists, retired wrestlers, and even sports commentators posted their takes. Some demanded lifetime bans for Raja Jackson, while others pushed for investigations into the referee and Knock X Pro management. The hashtag #BanRajaJackson trended alongside Justice for Stu. And by the next morning, clips had millions of views across platforms. When a scandal like this happens, fans immediately look to the organization for answers. Knock X Pro Wrestling was put in the hot seat almost instantly. Their response came through a public statement posted online. And while they tried to do damage control, many people felt their words raised even more questions. In the statement, Knock X Pro called Raja Jackson's attack a selfish, irresponsible act of violence. They also claimed that what happened in the ring was supposed to be part of a planned and agreed upon spot. In wrestling terms, that means it was meant to be a staged move. But according to them, Raja went too far and turned it into something real. The problem is, fans weren't buying it. The idea that this was planned made people even angrier. If Raja had suffered a concussion just days earlier, why was he allowed to perform at all? If it was supposed to be scripted, why didn't the promotion have tighter control? For many fans, Knock X Pro's statement felt like they were trying to shift the blame, rather than admit they failed. Criticism also focused on the company's safety record. While Knock X Pro had been around for 17 years, people started questioning whether they ever had real medical staff or proper emergency protocols in place. Wrestling at the independent level often doesn't have the same strict rules as WWE or AEW, but fans argued that this incident proved Knock X Pro was operating without enough responsibility. Another ripple effect was WWE's involvement. Knock X Pro had connections with WWE's development system, and this scandal forced WWE to quietly reevaluate their relationship. For a company as protective of its image as WWE, being linked, even indirectly, to such a violent incident was a major concern. As the father of Raja Jackson and a legendary UFC fighter himself, Quinton "Rampage" Jackson couldn't avoid this controversy. His name was dragged into the headlines almost immediately, and people wanted to know what he thought about his son's shocking actions. Rampage eventually broke his silence with an emotional statement. He admitted something that stunned fans. His son had suffered a concussion just days before the event. According to Rampage, Raja was in no condition to wrestle, and he should have never been in that ring. By saying this, Rampage shifted the focus onto Knock X Pro as well. because it meant the promotion knowingly let an injured man perform. He also publicly apologized to Stuart Smith, Psycho Stu, and his family. Rampage said he deeply regretted what happened and hoped Stu made a full recovery. For many people, this apology was the right step, but it also sparked bigger questions. If Rampage knew his son was concussed, why didn't he personally step in to prevent him from performing? Did he warn KnockX Pro, or was this detail only revealed after the attack? Reactions to Rampage's statement were mixed. Some praised him for being honest and not defending his son's actions. Others accused him of trying to protect Raja by shifting blame to the promotion. Fans also debated whether Raja's concussion could explain his violent outburst. Was he simply not in the right state of mind? Or was this deeper than just an injury?
For Rampage, this incident has been painful on multiple levels. Not only is his son facing public hatred and possible legal charges, but his own reputation as a respected veteran of combat sports is now being questioned. Some MMA fans feel disappointed, saying he should have had more influence in keeping Raja away from the ring that night. Behind every wrestling character, there's a real person with dreams, struggles, and a story. Stuart Smith, known to fans as Psycho Stu, isn't a mainstream superstar on TV every week. But within the independent wrestling community, he built a name for himself. His style was risky, his matches were intense, and he gained respect as someone who always gave the crowd everything he had. Stu's wrestling career mainly took place in smaller promotions across the West Coast. Independent wrestling is tough. It doesn't have the money, glitz, or big arenas of WWE, but it has passionate performers who do it for the love of wrestling. Stu was one of those people. Fans admired him because he wasn't afraid to take dangerous bumps or crazy stunts. That's why he developed a cult following, especially among hardcore wrestling fans who enjoy extreme matches. Outside the ring, people describe Stuart as humble and friendly. He was the type of guy who'd sign autographs even after a long match and thank fans for supporting indie wrestling. He didn't have the backing of big sponsorships or million-dollar contracts. Like most indie wrestlers, he worked day jobs to support himself and wrestled because it was his passion. The attack on him was especially heartbreaking because it wasn't part of his psycho persona. It was real, and it left him badly hurt. Reports from wrestlers at the event say he suffered broken bones in his face, lost teeth, and nearly choked on his own blood before paramedics stepped in. Those kinds of injuries are not just painful, they can end a wrestler's career. Recovering from something like this isn't just about healing physically. For someone like Stu, who built his reputation on toughness, it's also about whether he'll have the confidence to step into the ring again. Fans have already started fundraising campaigns online to help him with medical bills, since independent wrestlers usually don't have health insurance or major financial support. What makes this incident even more chilling are the accounts from people who were actually there. When something this shocking happens, fans, wrestlers, and even kids in the crowd all see it differently, and their testimonies paint a picture of just how terrifying the night was.
One of the most talked about voices was Douglas Mallow, another wrestler who was backstage when the attack broke out. He was one of the first to rush to the ring to stop Raja Jackson. Mallow later told USA Today that the scene was horrifying. He described Stu choking on his own blood and teeth while kids in the audience looked on. That image alone explains why so many fans walked away feeling scarred. Parents who attended the show with their children also shared stories online. Some said their kids were crying and asking if the wrestler was going to die. Others said they immediately left the venue because they couldn't bear to watch anymore. For them, this wasn't just a bad show. It was a traumatic experience. Fans on social media also wrote about how surreal it was to see something like this happen live. Some said they thought it was part of the script at first, but when they saw Stu's body shaking uncontrollably, they realized it wasn't fake. Several people mentioned that the atmosphere inside the building shifted instantly, from excitement to panic. While Raja Jackson's attack feels shocking, it's not the first time reality has intruded into wrestling's scripted world. Wrestling has a long history of tragic moments where the line between entertainment and danger was crossed, sometimes with devastating consequences. One of the most infamous examples was in 1999, when Owen Hart, a beloved WWE wrestler, fell to his death during a stunt gone wrong. What do you think?
Should Raja Jackson be banned for life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next story we're covering is even crazier, and trust me, you don't want to miss it.